Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls of all ages, and Tabletop Dan. Yes, Dan, I finally am doing an unboxing on this. So, this is the Star Wars Legion Laat, L-A-A-T. It's just a wicked looking miniature, if you can call it that, because it's not a bad size, to be fair. I have to admit, when I've been watching the Star Wars films, series, whatever, this thing has actually flown under the radar, no pun intended, for me, until I saw this thing, went, that's in Star Wars, and checked it out, and how did I miss it? This thing just looks lush. So it's about time. I've had this thing in my hot little hands for months now, probably, and it's quite universal. So the fact that you can have it with Imperial, or you can use it with clones, is pretty nice as well. It looks cool. I do like the ATST. It was fun to paint. I can hear it when I use it on the table. I can hear the cannons fire, and I can hear the zzz with the legs. And that, for me, is why I like Legion, because I can hear all the blaster noises. Oh yeah, and it's a good game as well. But I picked this up because, well, it was on sale initially. But looking at this box, I haven't even opened it yet. Dan made me get it out of the packaging about a week ago, because it's just sat in an Amazon bag for God knows how long. Never even checked it out. I must have this. I must have this. Bought it. Never even opened it. I do that a lot. I've got a room full of stuff never even opened. Terrible. But checking this thing out, it does look boss. So believe it or not, that is actually painted on the back. It doesn't look massively painted, but like the ATST, it's a bit of a military grey colour, like a whitish grey, and I'm going to paint it the same thing. Maybe a bit more of a contrast, but the best thing about it is the detail inside. So check that out. So you can have Imperial TIE pilots sat inside, or clone pilots sat inside. I'm going to go Imperial, me personally, and is it dark? It's not like 40k Grimdark, so can I really have clone pilots on spikes or anything like that? If it was the other way around, if I was a clone player, I may use the TIE pilots on Ewok spears to make a nice little Ewok village. But the other way around, I don't know what I'm going to do with the leftover bits. I never like to chuck anything away. If you've seen any of my terrain videos, you know rule number one for me, never chuck anything away. So I don't know what I'm going to do with the clone pilots. I'm not going to chuck them. I might see if one of my mates want them for some weird and wonderful purposes. But the model looks cool. The ATST behaves very much like it does in the films. It's a bit bow-legged and the turning circle's not great. But if you notice with the base on this guy, that's right, it can strafe. So it can go sideways like a crab and still shoot. So I find with the ATST, as nice as that model is, I don't play it because you can just walk to the side of it, you can walk around it. It's not been shot off the table yet, I'm sure it's a matter of time, but most people just ignore it. Whereas this thing, possibly not so shooty, but I'm sure I can work something out. But the fact that it can go sideways is pretty damn nice. So, with the blurb on the back, yes, it does confirm the fact that the Republic police forces used to use it at the height of the Clone Wars. But, since then, of course, the Galactic Empire, the true and rightful side, who are obviously bringing peace to the galaxy, now use it to gun down rebel soldiers, because, you know, they're in the wrong. So, and that's exactly what it says on the back, so it's not my fault. But yes, this is an expansion for Star Wars Legion, contains one finely sculpted Laat patrol miniature, enough for one heavy unit, along with new unit and upgrade cards to field in battle. So I'll open the box and we'll talk about some of the cards. Okay, first things first, obviously you've got the clone and the Imperial. I don't think there's masses of difference. Both have armor, both have Arsenal 2, both have cover 1. Air 2, immune to blast, melee and range 1 weapons. I'm guessing because it's kind of a repulsor style vehicle, and it's transport 1 closed. You may transport 1 friendly trooper unit. It's pretty cool. So the points are the same, the armor is the same, it's just basically the artwork. And it's fixed front positions. So it's exactly the same, be it that one or that one. But it has 8 hull, and when you get to 6, then you got to start rolling to see if anything gets destroyed on this bad boy. But for 120 points, standard, not crazy expensive. It comes with twin laser cannons at range 1 to 3, 1 red, 3 black. Not too shabby. So it's got a fair number of wounds. Defensive dice is white, so not possibly the best, but don't really care so much because it has armor. Armor makes it a little bit more survivable, while defending cancel all hit results. So that does make a little bit of a difference. Of course, there are things I can get around that. But those crits are always there. Crits are always good against these things. So there's Arsenal 2, nearly slipped up there. While attacking, each mini in this unit may use up to 2 of its weapons. So it comes with 1 as standard. Cover is always nice as well. So while defending, improve your cover by 1. So always has cover, which is pretty nice. And remember, it's immune to blast weapons, which can happen. Melee, not sure many people would charge this thing, but still. And range 1 weapons. So if you do get your missile launcher close to this thing, don't get within range 1. So it's going to be fairly survivable. You know, 8 hull, 8 armor, 8 wounds characteristics. It's fairly survivable. It's fairly survivable. I'm mainly going to be playing it because it looks fun. Right, that's the sound of me punching the massive bag of bits, which I'll get into in a second. That is huge. But I'll leave that for in a minute. Try not to bore you guys with any of this. But if you are interested, obviously pause it anytime. See if I can get a bit of light on it. Tidy it up a little bit so you can see what's going on here. Okay, so Governor Price, Imperials only. That's the right army to play. You gain Field Commander after a friendly neutral command card is played. You may be nominated as a commander. Okay, choose a friendly trooper unit that you're transporting or at range 1 or 2. It gains 1 aim and suppression token. So for 10 points. Actually, I think I'll just run through these quickly and then pick out what I would really like. So that one, yeah, okay. Increase your maximum speed by 1. Well, there's a chance that you fly and blow yourself up. I mean, speed 2 is okay anyway, because it is quite a size base. But if you really want it, I'm basically going to be strafing most of the time, going sideways. But that's not bad. Increase your maximum speed. It's only 8 points. So that's pretty cool. Well, that's Republic. Who's ever going to be playing the Republic? Choose a friendly clone trooper. Yep, so that's exactly the same. Apart from it's a surge token this time around, as well as a suppression rather than aim. So, okay. So that's still 10 points. This is Republic again. You gain Observer 4. So choose an enemy unit at range 1 to 3, and in line of sight, it gains 4 observation tokens. For 8, it's not too bad. Republic again. I'm joking. Republic's pretty good, to be fair. If I didn't play Imperial, I would be playing... Actually, no, if I didn't play Imperial, I'll be rocking some Tauntauns, because I just think those models look ace. Plus I can make the noises. I have been drinking a couple cans of Coke today, and I'm a bit caffeine sensitive, so I do apologise in advance. After a unit that you're transporting disembarks, it gains 1 surge token, and either 1 aim or 1 dodge. So that's not bad. That's not bad for 4 points. During the issue orders, step of the command phase. After you issue orders, you may issue an order to a unit that you are transporting. Not too shabby. It's only 3 points. Linked targeting array. And placement trooper or vehicle only. So obviously this is fine to use. It'd be weird if it wasn't in this box. You gain target 1. After you issue an order, you gain an aim token, which isn't bad. HQ uplink, have seen in a few packs. So during the issue order step of the command phase, you may issue an order to yourself. It's okay. It's okay. Some weapons upgrades now. So high energy shells, range 2 to 4, 2 reds and a white, and of course you have to recover after you exhaust this, so it goes like that after you use it, and you have to spend a recovery to bring it back. Fixed front again, critical 1 while converting of offensive surges. Change one of the surge results to a crit. It's okay, it's baked in, that's not too bad. At the end of your activation, if you did not use this card, ready it. So that's pretty nice. So if you didn't use it, you get to ready it for free rather than spending an action. High velocity while attacking. If each weapon in the attack pool has high velocity, enemy units cannot spend dodge tokens. So that can be quite useful. So if someone is hunkering down and they've got a dodge token on them, that's not too bad. If you've got a dodge token on a Jedi and he wants to deflect stuff back, that's pretty interesting for 8 points. So for 8 points, you've gained 3 extra dice. You've got the convert critical 1, which isn't too bad. It may not happen all the time, but it's going to happen at some stage. If you do get a turn, you don't get to do your recovery. And you haven't done anything with this, you get to recover it for free, which is pretty tasty. Armor piercing shells. I didn't think it was too bad for 8 points actually. Same thing again, we have cycle. It is range 2 to 3, so slightly less range, but it's slightly better dice. So 1 red, 2 black, fixed front again, which doesn't really matter if you're going sideways, that's pretty cool. Impact 3, while attacking a unit that has armor, so if you're going up against something like a tank, this is probably the boy to go with for only 10 points. Change up to 3 hits to crits instead. So obviously you're adding it to your pool. If you get those 3 hits and you're going against armor, change them to crits is really nice. For only 10 points, I think that's pretty nice. This sounds interesting. Bunker Buster shells. Gotta be good, right? It's not like the Iron Man Hammer Tech Bunker Buster. I hope not. So it is range 1 to 2, so very, very close. 1 black, 3 white. It has cycle again and blast. So you do get to ignore cover, which is pretty nice. So really digging those troops out of cover. But you've got to be pretty close. Fixed front, which all of them are so far. And scatter. After you perform an attack action against a small base trooper unit, you may place each defending non-leader mini. Oh, okay. So you may place each defending non-leader mini in cohesion. So it's 12 points. So basically, you can slightly mess up somebody's day. It's not going to be game-breaking, but the fact that you can move them around a little bit is pretty nice. So you could potentially make them not see another target by moving them around. Maybe make half the unit stay outside of cover, which is pretty nice. So if another unit's going to wail on it, that's pretty cool. So a little bit of control there, which is nice. But it says non-leader, so you still have to get them still within coherency of each other, I guess. So you still have to be within one of the leader, but you can make them like kind of move out of cover, which is pretty nice. Or off an objective, which is even better. Limited range, probably not going to do massive amounts of damage with the old white dice, but having one black in there is quite nice. So I guess you would use that against troops, especially if anything is dug in, like an Alabama tick. One against armor, which is pretty nice. This is a bit cheaper, but I guess you would use this against anything that has dodges. Maybe if you're going up against Jedis or speeder bikes or something like that. It's pretty nice. So you do have some tech, and remember you can fire 2 weapons. So you got your standard twin laser cannon on the vehicle itself, and then one of these upgrades, which isn't mega expensive. So I don't know, I don't go against armor very often, but I do like those dice. It's got pretty good range as well, whereas that one there has better range. And if someone is spending those dodges, that might be the one to go. So if you think going against Jedi, I suppose, and you think they're going to deflect stuff back with a dodge, finish off a character, or try to, that's not bad. So the upgrades are pretty tasty, I'm not going to lie, and not that expensive. So let's say you put a 10-point weapon upgrade on there, because that's the average. We've got an 8, a 10 and a 12. It still only brings the vehicle up to 130 points. That's before you spend any other kind of upgrade. So, I mean, do you really need more weapons? I mean, if I was rocking the armor-piercing shells, that would be 5 black, 2 red. That's not bad for that many points. And the fact that it's quite mobile, quite survivable, but yes, if you did want to make it faster, you could make it speed 3 as well. So the miniature itself. Like I said, it can go sideways. Ooh la la, I'm looking forward to that. That should be good. And the plastics have been improved somewhat since the first couple of boxes. You can see the detail a bit crisper. And I think they might have changed the recipe a little bit on the old plastics. So the plastics are less bendy now, they're a harder plastic. And the details are pretty nice. So you see the little door there. Nice little lamp. They're not bad plastics these days. Possibly not as good as like the GW plastics, but the prices are a lot better. Imagine if this was Games Workshop. I mean, yes, this was on sale, so it wasn't mega expensive anyway. But the detail's pretty nice. It's a very smooth plastic. And like I said, it's a lot more sturdy these days. So things like with the canopy of the cockpit, you do get the clear plastic to go in them. You even got the clear plastic for the headlights as well. Also in that little bag is the flying stand. So very much like your TIE wings, you have your plates there. It's pretty tasty. And it's going to be a decent sized vehicle. It really is. It's obviously going to overlap the base anyway. And what is that base? Is that like a 120mm or something? So trusty metal ruler by me at all times. Yeah, 120. See, I've got a good eye. I know my my 12 centimeters. You know. Say no more. Yeah, nice detail. Feels very sturdy. Plastic feels very nice. Certainly not bendy and warpy. Now, I love my dewbacks, but I have to say, like, the dewback pikes and my Royal Guard pikes are a little bit bendy because they were quite early on. But yeah, the plastic has definitely improved. It wasn't bad, but it was just slightly bendy. But yeah, pretty good detail with all the little rivets. Certainly doesn't look like there's any miscasts or anything nasty. This thing is going to be pretty nice to have on the table. And like I said, I'll be running it as Imperial. But yeah, I can't wait to have this painted up. But yeah, I can't see any transfers in the box. Obviously, I've got the instructions, which are relatively clear. It kind of looks like almost like a Haynes manual. So if you're a mechanic or if you've ever heard of a Haynes manual, it looks more like that. How it's laid out, almost in a blueprint style. But it looks relatively clear with the graph paper it's drawn on. It does look a bit more like almost Airfix, I suppose. But no, very clear to read, very precise. And of course, in the box you also get your lovely tokens. So your wound counters and the unit tokens as well. But yeah, no transfers, so I'm not sure if I'm going to turn that off for a sec. I'm not sure if I'm going to attempt the freehand on that. But it's pretty much on the outside 2 colours. I might weather it up a little bit to make it slightly dirty and dusty. But yeah, there's a few different shades of grey, not 50. And the black is going to be pretty basic with maybe a bit of a dry brush on it. But I'm carrying on with my Endor themed bases. So a bit of moss, some trees, some mud, and we will see what this guy looks like when it's all painted. And I haven't yet have a Star Wars Legion battle report on the channel. Now, no, Tabletop Dan, I know you should be watching this, and your army is pretty much fully painted with a gorgeous Scarif themed base, against obviously my Endor. And Dan, unfortunately, does play Rebels. He hasn't got very good taste, but they are lovely painted. So we should, because we've got a table and we've got painted miniatures, we should pull our fingers out and record some Legion battle reports. It is quite difficult when, obviously, we both have full-time jobs, but we will try to do that for you guys. Well, thank you very much for watching this video anyway. Basically, I had to do it because Dan will beat me if I didn't do it any sooner. But it is a gorgeous model and I can't wait to assemble it and paint it up. I can see all the little flick switches inside there are going to be amazing. Just be a little bit careful when you glue the canopy on, because if you use super glue, obviously it will frost up. So maybe something like PVA, because I can't imagine there's going to be much strain on the plastic, quote-unquote, glass, I guess, of the cockpit. But if you use super glue, the fumes coming off super glue, if it's enclosed, will fog up the glass. Plastic glue, you've got to be a bit careful, you don't want to get it on the lens, so PVA may be the better bet for that. But the rest of it I will be using plastic glue for. And it'd be a shame to paint all those nice little toggle switches and things inside for the glass to fog up. So I will paint that before sticking the front on, so I will do it semi-sub-assembly. But that's my only tips for you guys, because I haven't attempted to paint it yet. Okay, stay safe, you wonderful people, and catch you in the next video.